Hey lore lovers! I have a special video for you today. Today we are going behind the scenes of our novel, Reign of Shadows. And we even have a surprise and an announcement at the end, so stay tuned for that.
Let's go all the way back to the beginning. We've always been quite the storyteller and have the imagination of at least 3 grown squirrels.
Squirrels?
You try thinking up something creative under pressure. It's not easy.
Do squirrels even have an imagination?
Okay, I get it. I'll try again. We had an awesome imagination that even rivaled what 3 grown squirrels could have. Is that better?
I guess that'll have to work. While growing up, we would tell countless stories about our toys, over-exaggerate about what happened during the day, and just imagine our world around us as something much more fantastical than just a home in the suburbs. Our basement was a spooky cave or a mine, our bedroom was a jungle, and I lived in a treehouse since I was on the top bunk.
While in school, writing came naturally to us. We loved writing poems, stories, and even essays. It was something our teachers told us we had a natural talent for.
In 3rd grade, I entered a writing contest. Winners got to spend the day at the campus of BYU, and we got to hang out with writers and editors for the whole day. I don't quite remember the rules about it, but I submitted a limerick as my contest entry.
I'll read it. There was a mean dragon from Mars who ate a lot of candy bars. He ate and ate until he made a date. That mean dragon from Mars. And look at the picture she drew! Yeah, I'm not seeing any natural talent. I don't know what they saw. Especially with this dragon. Look how fat it is!
Probably from eating all the chocolate. During this writers' hangout, I got to meet a lot of authors and editors. And during the conference where all of us were together and authors and editors were taking turns talking to us, an author told us all that to stand out, we had to be unique. To accomplish this, he asked for examples from us on how we would compare or describe something, and he asked us how we would describe the dark. A few older kids gave a few responses, and he wasn't too thrilled about them. It was like, as dark as black or as dark as midnight. And so I volunteered. It couldn't be as bad as dark as midnight. And I said it was as dark as a secret long forgotten. And the author actually liked it. I am so sorry I don't remember his name. He actually asked me if he could use that in his upcoming book, and I eagerly agreed. It was at this moment that I knew I could be an author. I had what it takes.
It was a good time, but all good times come to an end.
We moved to a different neighborhood on the other side of town. And at the end of the school year, we started at a new school.
It wasn't fun there. We were teased relentlessly, especially for writing. It was such a nerdy and dumb thing, and to me, they told me it was too much of a girly thing to be doing. So, giving into peer pressure, we stopped writing. It wasn't for another 7 years before we wrote again for fun. On August 24th, 2007, my best friend Kiefer Sandoval died. Soon after this, I started getting into trouble. After one night of sneaking out and getting caught, I was told to make a list of things I want to accomplish in my life. The first thing I wrote down on this list was to write a book. I hadn't thought about writing in years. This was so strange to me. Why would I want to write a book? Yet, it was at the top of the list.
Though we hadn't written in the last several years, we still had a vivid imagination. We constantly had an ongoing story within our head that we would share back and forth. So, if we were to write a book, we were going to start with this story.
From that day on, we were writing.
It was like a dam had broken. The words just couldn't escape fast enough. Page after page after page was filled relentlessly. Our free time was spent crafting more stories, drawing characters or city maps. We even made a world map.
Writing in our free time wasn't enough. While in school, we would write. Our grades slipped as we feverishly wrote our first manuscript.
Let me tell you how consuming this was. I had a full-time job, working 40 plus hours a week, while still going to high school maintaining a 3.8 GPA. But once I started writing again, my GPA plummeted to 2.7. It was like we had to get this story out before it was lost forever, and neither of us wanted that.
Within weeks, we had the first manuscript done, and we called it Shadowsgate.
All of our friends read it and were eager for more. They loved the story, and it was common for us to just pass around pages and chapters at a time between classes. It was unbelievable and an honor that they would be willing to read through all of our chicken scratches. We were confident that we had a hit on our hands. The world of Elutopec was born in these pages. This is the original manuscript. I would write character profiles and histories about everything in this world. The process of world building has started. And I also wanted to get this story published. How awesome would it be to be a published author of this amazing fantasy novel before I had even graduated high school? We rewrote Shadowsgate onto the computer, adding much more detail and excitement to the pages. We expanded scenes, crafted love stories. It was a full-fledged novel. And so we edited it, rewrote it, edited it again, and rewrote it again. Our senior year of high school, we believed it to finally be done. During this time, we started writing backstories for our characters. In Shadowsgate, the story took place right in the middle of the action. How did they get there? Why are they considered the heroes? What's going on? What happened? We weren't sure if these backstories would ever see the light of day, but it was nice having a general outline of all of our characters so we never messed up and contradicted ourselves. And during this time, we fell in love with world building. It was becoming more fun doing this than writing the novel. It was so much fun crafting histories, developing religions and cultures, deciding and figuring out why people hated each other or why people liked each other. What was the trade? What made the world tick? We considered self-publishing Shadowsgate, but we were convinced to try to have a standard or traditional book house and publisher try to publish it. We were fairly confident that with how amazing this book is, it wouldn't be too difficult to get this published. Mind you, this was in 2008.
Boy, were we wrong.
We were rejected again and again and again. Feedback was surprisingly the same, however. We had a good story, but nobody wanted to take a chance on a nobody so young on a fantasy trilogy. We heard you could get better luck if you had an agent, so we thought we'd go that route.
That's right, lore lovers. We were so cool, we had an agent in high school.
It sounds a lot cooler than it actually was. Turns out the agent we hired wasn't the best and was soon arrested for embezzlement, along other things. So if you're watching this, thanks for taking our money, Ian.
While we were stuck trying to find a publisher, we kept writing. If we were nobodies that they didn't want to take a risk on but liked our story, we had a plan. The emergence of ebooks was happening. And from this, it was pretty easy to self-publish your own work. Our plan was simple. Write our characters' backstories and publish them as ebooks. That way, we could get our name out there and people would be invested already in the characters that are going to be in our novel. The ebook backstory series would end where our novel began. And by this point, Shadowsgate was now called Legend of Cyrus in the Return of the Exiled trilogy.
Instead of writing vague outlines of our characters' past, We started writing in-depth adventures as if they were books themselves about our characters. We weaved these storylines of our characters in and around each other like a fine tapestry. Everything just meshed so well. Not going to lie, we were prouder of these than Legend of Cyrus. Everything just fit so perfectly together. It was like our minds and imagination had known the story all along. And we were just the scribes putting it on paper.
And then it happened. On October 31st, 2012, we released the first ebook, Birth of a Warrior in the Rise of a Rebellion series. And it had my name on it.
Birth of a Warrior was about a boy named Rafik who was trying to escape his hometown that was being overrun by the king and his army, who were trying to forcefully enlist every child they could find. Sound familiar? It might. We had no idea how to market Birth of a Warrior. We had no experience in advertising or marketing whatsoever. So, for an ebook that had next to no advertising, Birth of a Warrior did fairly well. After this release, we went back to the drawing board. It was soon after this that we had a meeting with another publisher. We were still submitting our manuscript of Legend of Cyrus to publishers all around during this time. During this period, we became writers and editors to other writing establishments and had a day job that didn't involve writing at all. Honestly, at this point, it was starting to seem like our story would never see the light of day. But a miracle happened and another publisher took interest in it. We sat down and had a 3-hour meeting talking about our world of Elutopec and what we had planned, what we've developed, and everything about it. They really liked our ideas and told us to scrap the ebook series. With how popular the Marvel movies have gotten, yeah, those Marvel movies, the publisher told us that everybody is loving an origin story. They suggested to turn those ebooks into the first 3 books of a 6-book series. So, we took the ebook down, rewrote it, combining it with the other ones we had planned, and the novel that we now call Reign of Shadows was born. Birth of a Warrior was the first third of Reign of Shadows, though we've added a whole lot more to it since then. We changed the series name of Rise of a Rebellion after the 2016 presidential election. At that point, a ton of people came to our Facebook page in hopes that it was an anti-Trump political page. Our book was a fantasy novel. We weren't trying to be political whatsoever at the time. So, we changed it from Rise of a Rebellion to Reign of Shadows. And what became of Legend of Cyrus, you might ask? The first manuscript we wrote back in 2007? Well, it will now be called Return of the Exiled and is planned to be book 4 in the Reign of Shadows series. Things fell through with that publisher, unfortunately. But this first book was done and ready to go out. And so, on March 27th, 2021, Reign of Shadows was published as paperback and on Kindle formats. But now, tomorrow, August 24th, 2021, it will finally be available in hardcover. And not just in hardcover, but on barnesandnoble.com. From my understanding, it could make it into some of their brick and mortar stores, but I'm still working with them on that. And lore lovers, I have the first hardcover copy right here that Barnes & Noble has sent me. So, let's check it out! So, lore lovers, it's come to this. From the rough draft 14 years ago to the proof in the paperback that was released a few months ago to the hardcover. And I'm opening this for the first time right now. This is exciting. This is what I've been waiting for ages. It's packaged fairly well. gosh. Oh, that's gorgeous. Oh, okay, this is Reign of Shadows. This is amazing. Here's the hardcover, here's the paperback. It's so surreal. Oh my gosh. Okay, so this is a hardcover, obviously. We don't have a description on the back like we do with the proofs and the paperbacks. The description is on the inside on this page. And looks awesome. The big difference, though, between the hardcover and the paperback for the cover itself is the About the Author section. It's on the back of the dust jacket. And that's my ugly mug right there. Oh, this is awesome. I took this picture when I was trying to edit the Thanksgiving video. And I was getting so frustrated because the video editing software crashed on me. I actually did makeup that day, and I was just sitting there pouting, and I took this picture. So maybe me being in a bad mood gets my good side. I don't know, but I like this picture. Oh, okay, and we will take off the cover right here. And it's all one monotone color right there, just dark blue. And let's see how it looks inside. There's the maps. And there's one other thing that's different in this book, and that is the glossary that I added. A lot of people asked me for one, so I thought I would hurry and add it to this book. So let me go to it right here. And we have the glossary. And the glossary is separated into people, places, and things. And I thought that was a nice touch as well. Oh, this is awesome. Oh my gosh, this is what I imagined my book to be. I love books. I enjoy paperbacks, but I love hardcover books. There's just something about them. It seems mysterious and just magical. And my book is finally among them. I'm almost speechless. And I say almost because I keep rambling to you. Oh, so there you have it, lore lovers. This is my book. Please get it. August 24th is when it becomes available on barnesandnoble.com for the hardcover. This version. So be sure to get it. The hardcover version is available August 24th. Be sure to get it if you haven't got this already. And stay tuned. More news to come and a new giveaway. We definitely aren't done with the Reign of Shadows. Here is the dust jacket and all of his artwork. This is awesome. Well, lore lovers, what do you think? Quite a wild ride, right? If you want to get Reign of Shadows, click on any of the links in the description down below. And be sure to leave a comment telling me what you think about behind the scenes of Reign of Shadows. Did you like the limerick third grader me actually wrote? Stay tuned for giveaways and more. I have so much planned, and I couldn't be here without you. So thank you, each and every one of you. Your support is amazing. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Until next time, lore lovers.